Caitriona unexpectedly reveals her true feelings when working with Sam for the first time. First script reading. Caitriona sat in a small conference room at a Los Angeles production company, tapping her feet lightly against the legs of her metal chair, her paper coffee cup cold in her hand. She couldn't remember the last time she'd felt this nervous. Today, she was going to meet Sam Heughan, her new co-star in a TV project rumored to be a global hit. She'd heard the name 100 times in the past few weeks. Sam will play the male lead, a very cool Scottish type. Sam has been training for the role. Sam is very tall, maybe 5 feet 6 inches, with broad shoulders. That was the problem. Too many people were talking about him, and she was sick of it. She didn't like the type of actor who was praised more for his looks than his acting prowess. "I don't need a model who can talk," she'd joked to the director during a script reading. "I need a real co-star." The door opened. She looked up. When their eyes first met, the person who entered was a tall man, walking confidently and shyly. His amber hair was a little messy, as if he had just taken off his helmet. His eyes were as blue as a deep lake. In his hands he held a script full of notes, and when his eyes met hers, all the words in Caitriona's head were erased. "Hi, Caitriona, I'm Sam." He held out his hand. She shook his hand. His hand was warm, firm, and his gaze was not the gaze of someone trying to impress. It was sincere, a little curious, and a little awkward. "Oh no," she thought. "Don't tell me he's actually cute." First scene. Not what she expected. The script reading began. The director sat in the middle, with a few assistants around him. Sam and Caitriona sat across from each other, their scripts spread out on the table. The first scene was a tense conversation between the two main characters, where they met for the first time in years. They had to be angry, hurt, but there was still a spark of love. Caitriona was about to go into acting mode. She had done hundreds of these scenes, and she was confident. But when Sam spoke, deep, warm, with a slight Scottish accent, she forgot the next line. She froze. The room fell silent. She chuckled softly. "Sorry. I got lost." Sam smiled, tilting her head slightly. "Is my voice distracting you?" She looked at him, and then laughed for real. Maybe. The room laughed along. The tension was gone. Coffee and conversation. After the script reading, the whole crew went to a coffee shop near the studio. Caitriona was about to make an excuse to leave early, but Sam came up to her, holding 2 espressos in his hands. "I didn't know which one you liked, so I just got it. With milk or without milk, pick one." She looked at him, a little surprised by his naturalness. She wasn't used to a colleague who was proactive but not pushy. "Thanks. The one without milk," she said. He sat down next to her, not asking about his career, not talking about his role, but telling her about a neighbor's cat that jumped onto his balcony every morning and slept next to his rosemary pot. She laughed. "That sounds like the name of a strange poem." "Yeah, if someone wrote about it, it would be called Cat and Rosemary, Balcony Love Story," Sam replied nonchalantly. Caitriona realized that she was laughing very genuinely, not in a fake way. Confused thoughts. That night, lying in her rented apartment in the Hollywood Hills, Caitriona opened her phone, about to text her best friend, "My new co-star isn't as bad as I thought." But she deleted the message. No. She didn't want to jump to conclusions. She'd had co-stars who had disappointed her after the first week. And most of all, she hated the feeling of being softened by someone who was handsome and polite. But then she remembered the way he looked when he listened. The way he stayed quiet when she spoke, not interrupting, not trying to impress, just being there. And a part of her, the soft part she hid, whispered, "What if this isn't acting, but a real person?" Unplanned scene. The first day of filming officially began on an outdoor set in the Atlanta suburbs. Today's scene involved the two main characters arguing in the rain, then awkwardly kissing, because they both realized they still had feelings for each other, but didn't dare admit it. Caitriona walked over to the makeup area, where Sam was already sitting. He was smiling at the makeup girl, her face covered in foundation but still, annoyingly beautiful. "Today's scene is a little dramatic," Sam said as she sat down next to him, turning to look at the mirror. "Just rain and screaming. Those are easy," she replied, trying to keep her voice even. He raised an eyebrow. "And kissing?" Caitriona was quiet for a moment. "Yeah. Kissing is acting, right?" Sam smiled, but didn't tease her further. That surprised her a little. Most male actors use kissing as an excuse to flirt, or to deflect with crude jokes. Sam doesn't. He lets the situation play out, and that makes her heart beat faster. Scene in the rain. The artificial rain pours down. The director yells, "Action!" They dive into their lines. "I know I hurt you, but don't pretend you don't love me." Sam screams, "Love? That's not love. You left me like I was worthless." Caitriona replies, her voice shaking not from the cold but from acting too real. The camera zooms in. She knows the kiss is next. Sam takes a step forward. Caitriona looks into his eyes. They're no longer the characters. They're Sam's. And she can't tell what's acting and what's real. He leaned down, his hand brushing her cheek, and the kiss began. A kiss that was not technically correct. The scene ended. The director yelled, "Great. One take." The crew applauded. Sam smiled, waved her thanks. But Caitriona stood there, frozen in the artificial rain. Something was different. She had kissed co-stars before, lots of them. But none had made her feel swept away like this. When she returned to the break area, Sam was drying her hair with a towel. He saw her and asked softly, "Is it okay?" "Yeah. Just a little weird," she said, avoiding his gaze. "Is it good or bad?" He tilted his head. She chuckled. "Not sure yet.